Good morning, students. Today's topic is to separate the two components which are forming the solution. One as the solute, another as the solvent. In order to separate them, or in order to separate the binary mixture, we have to distill the liquid. Means today we are going to discuss distillation of a binary mixture which is formed by two liquids which are completely miscible with each others. Distillation means simply separation of the two liquids by boiling. In bracket I have written as their boiling point differs sufficiently, means distillation is possible when boiling point of the two liquids differs by a gap, sufficient gap. If there is very less gap, it is not easy to separate the two liquids. But the gap between the boiling points, if more, then we can separate the two liquids by boiling. Before going into practical aspect of the separation, we have to discuss a theoretical way how the liquid separates from each other. This is a graph. That graph is between the mole fraction. At the down you see here I have written x2, that is the mole fraction of second component. This is x1, that is the mole fraction of one component. Toward this side it is the variation of temperature. Toward this side again it is the variation of temperature. It means it is temperature versus mole fraction graph, is not vapor pressure. It is the graph between the temperature and the mole fractions, not between the vapor pressure and the mole fractions. One side, boiling point of a one component, I can say which is having the mole fraction x1, that is having 300 degrees Celsius boiling temperature in pure state, means no another component present. Simultaneously, on the other side I have shown the temperature T2, that is the boiling point of second component in pure state. In pure state means only second component present, no one component present. So that can be viewed from this line, downward line. As you see, x2 starts from this side, it extends up to this side. So it means x2 is 0 here at this point. So no x2 means only x1. It means one component present. x1 starts from this point. It means x1 is 0 at this point and it is gradually increasing toward this side. So at this point only x1 present, and at this x1 is 0, it means one component is not present. Which one? It is the second component present here. At any point we can have the mole fraction of each of these two components. For example, if I discuss this point A, you know this is the movement of x2 toward this side. This is the line of x2. So x2 has started from 0, it is moving up to this point. I am saying about the point A, means I can assume only, not exact. It is 20% of A, B is present here. How much? B means second component. At the point A, it is x2, only I am saying of x2, not I am saying of x1, means I am saying of the second component. So second component is how much? It is 20%. or mole fraction is 0.2. As you will come to the point B, mole fraction of X2, it is increasing. It means it will reach at the point 0.6. As we will move toward this point at C, it is the B component that is reaching to how much? It is 90%. It is written here 90:10. Don't take it as 90:10. It is 10:90. Means B component, second component, it is 90%. As we reach up to the D point, the second component is 99%. In a similar fashion, let us discuss X1. X1 is starting from this point. At this point, one component is 0%. Up to this much place, it is only 10%. Up to this place, it is reaching up to 40%, 0.4. As we reach here, it is 0.8, or you can say 80%. At this point, it is 100%. At any single point, if we know the mole fraction of one, we can assume the corresponding fraction of one component and corresponding fraction of another component. At any point, suppose x1 is 0.4, it means clearly x2 will be 0.6. So one is indicatory of the another. If we know the percentage of one, by making it less from the 100, we can calculate the another component. So if one component is 20%, another component will be 80%. One component is 40%, another component will be 60%. So that is the bottom line, and how the one mole fraction or percentage of one component is related with the another component. Now let us come to this point. One component boils at 300 degrees Celsius. Another component boils at 200 degrees Celsius. Suppose in the flask, which is here, this one, I have taken the mixture of these two. And then by the application of heat, I am going to heat it over the flame and going to change it into the vapors. So coming back to this here, until and unless 300 degrees Celsius temperature is reached, we can't say that T1 is one component is boiling. Or prior to 200 or 180 degrees Celsius, the liquid will not boil at all, because the component which is having the minimum boiling point is 200. So until and unless temperature reaches to 200, the second component will not boil. Suppose in between these two temperatures, 300 and 200, I take any temperature shown by a green line here. So the green line is crossing, it is cutting the liquid line as well as the vapor line. It is cutting the liquid line as well as vapor line. So if I take the composition corresponding to this point, which I have located here, this one point, then this is very much near to the one component, very far from the second component. I can say at this point it is 98% A is there and only 2% of V is there. How I am saying about that? How much near it is to this line where it is x1 is maximum. It means if I check this point, I can say 98% one component, 2% another component. Then this line is going to change into vapors. So it means I am having a liquid which is having composition 98% A and 2% V, and I change into vapors. Vapors means I boil it. So boiling, when I will boil it, what the vapors will contain? Vapors, the line is cutting the vapors at this point. It means if I change 98% A and 2% V, which was in solution, which was in liquid, to vapors, then vapor after condensing, that line coming down, they will give the point A. Point A means it is the 80% A and 20% B. So see how the composition, it is varying from liquid state to vapor state. I am repeating it again, starting from this point. Which point is this one? This is a particular temperature which is less than the 300, because 300 is the boiling point of one component. So suppose it is the 280 degrees Celsius or 290 degrees Celsius. When I draw a line from here, that line cuts the liquid line here. Liquid line at this point, what is the composition of A and B? It is very much near to the one component, very far away from the second component. So 98% A is present and only 2% V is present. When I boil it, then after boiling it is touching this point, and I condense those vapors which are here, then putting a line down here, they are being condensed. So it is condensed, the condensed liquid corresponding to point A, and at point A it is 80% one component, it is 20% second component. So how it has been changed? 98% A has been changed to the 80% in vapors, and 2% of the B has been converted into the 20% of the B. Now leave this point, again come to this point. At this point, the liquid which is I am having, that contains now 80% of the one component and 20% of the second component. I am going to change it into vapors. So this line comes here and touches the vapors this point, at this point. Now at this point, if I condense them down, so this is condensation line here, it is coming down. After condensing, I reach at this point. This point corresponds to 40% of the A, one component, and 60% of the second component. So earlier liquid which was present here, it was 80% A and 20% V. B has been changed into 60% and A has been changed from 80 to 40%. So the compositions, they are varying in the liquid phase as well as in the vapor phase. They are very much different. In the liquid, it was 80% one component, 20% second component. But in vapor state, it is changing into 40% one component and 60% second component. What I do again here, at this point, I convert this composition back into the vapor state. So this is converted into the vapor state and we reach at this point. At this point, when I condense it down, this is wrongly written here, it should be 1090. So one component is left 10 and another component is 90%. Which one? Second component. So gradually moving toward this side, second component's composition is increasing, what first composition is decreasing, its percentage is decreasing. One component, it was 80 here, then reduced to the 40%, then reduced to the 10%, then it is reducing to the 10%. What? Which is at the first site, it is 2% second component, changing into the 20% increased, changing into the 60% increased, changing into the 90% that is increased. So it means at this point I am having 90% second component and 10% the one component left. Suppose again I change it into the vapors. Now see here, when I reach to the point which is very much near to the line to the second component, it means second component will be maximum. It means I can say it is 99.5% will be the second component and 0.5% that is left the one component. So in this way, at last, by a small variation again, if I convert it into the vapors and condense down, then I will get the 100% second component and 0% first component. So from this graph, I learnt or I said that a composition is from liquid state changing into the vapor state, condensing it back, again it is changing into the vapor state, again condensing it back, again changing into the vapors, again. So condensation, evaporation, it continues, and at last only one component is left and second component is removed. So it means we are able to separate the one component from the another component by continuous evaporation, condensation, evaporation and condensation. How it is achieved practically? So coming down to this apparatus which is shown here. So that is a round bottom flask in which a mixture that is being placed. Here the assembly which is above it, that is termed as the condenser, but we say it is a condenser. What is a condenser? It is a tube that runs thorough from one side to the another side. There is no inlet here. It is liquid that can run from here and it can come to the outside from here. There is a outer jacket here. This outer jacket, this side as well as this side. This outer jacket is cylindrical and it encloses the whole pipe which is running from here to the here. Water can be made to run from one side to the another side. So this is a inlet for the water, that is a outlet for the water. Water always enters from the downside and it is removed from the upper side, not enters from the upper side and removed from the downside. It is always entering at the downside and removed from the upper side. So water runs here continuously because this is attached by a pipe to the tap and there is a continuous flow of water. That water never enters the condenser because it is moving in the outer jacket. Inner jacket or inner line, it is completely intact from the outer water layer. The purpose of running water is to cool down the vapors here. So how the cooling and evaporation that is being continued here, that we discussed above. So see here, that is a source of heat. We will heat the sample. By heating the sample, slowly and slowly it will start at a particular temperature boiling, and by boiling the vapors will go to the upper side. You know that water is running from here, also the heat is there, so cooling is also there. So the variation of the temperature will be just like this way, which I have shown here. Means at the bottom the temperature will be more. As we will move above, temperature will gradually decrease and gradually decrease. These are not the exact temperature, but only I have shown that there is a variation of temperature from downward to the upward. So once the vapors are formed, so suppose of the first composition, the vapors are formed and those vapors are formed at this side. As they will move above, then there is a cooling. So this means because temperature is low, so that will condense down. So what is this process? Once it is evaporating, then it is condensing down. So if they are condensed at that side, as it will drop down, again there is a heating because temperature is more. So they will again get evaporated. At the higher temperature, at the higher level, there is a low temperature. Again they will cool down. Again they will come down. And since the temperature at the bottom it is more, so again they get evaporated. It means the vapors once formed, they are continuously getting evaporated, condensed, again evaporation, again condense. So this process continues up to the top. So there is a condensation as well as evaporation, because upper side it is cold side. Once the drop is or vapor is formed, that vapor it is moving up, again it is coming down, again moving it, again coming down, until unless here a temperature is formed, then the drop which is falling, that do not reach to the liquid, but it is evaporated from the in between. So that is the way I have discussed here, that these vapors, see these composition of the liquid changing into vapors, again condensing that, again changing into vapors, again condensing that, again changing into vapors, again condensing that, again changing into the vapors. Same is being achieved here, that upper temperature is low and downward temperature is high. So the liquid which is, or the composition which is moving above, it is being condensed to the down because of low temperature. Again the temperature at the bottom is more, again it is evaporated, again it is condensed, again it is evaporated. So in this way, the last composition which comes out from here, that composition contains one component only, it is not the second component. It is not the vertical assembly of the distillation which is being utilized. What? It is the actual, the apparatus is just like this way, where the temperature variation is from here to this point. Which one? Starting from the liquid level up to this point. This process only allows to flow of liquid from here to the downward side. Though separation is achieved from this point to this point. So the composition variation is only in between this gap, from this place up to that place. That means it is the evaporation, condensation, evaporation, condensation, that gives the one pure component only. So that is the distillation of a winery mixture. If you have not followed, I will repeat it again in a different way, and then put your remarks regarding this, whether you are able to understand this part or not. One thing more, as already said here, as their boiling point differs sufficiently. What happens when their boiling point doesn't differs? So this is a one line that is indicating, red line indicating the boiling point of one component. That is the another line. So in between these two lines the gap is very less. So the graph which is little slit, it is having a slope here, but this graph it will have very less slope. So if I start from one side, another side, only